Welcome back, Truth Seeker. January 1st, 2024, and things literally starting off with a bang in Japan, the land of the rising sun. And of course, we call it New Year's Day today because of the Catholic Church that began as the Sun Cult. And as we've talked about so many times, are earthquakes like this Mother Nature or something else? And we're going to explore how connected the Catholic Church does look to what has transpired in Japan on this day. And I will be making the argument that this is not Mother Nature. This is warfare. And again, for anyone who would think that's crazy, you need to look into history and the technology that's out there. You need to research things like HARP, which has been in patent form since the 80s. And we're going to talk about the oh so familiar patterns. Before we talk about this earthquake, though, just to familiarize people with my work in case they're new here, I want to talk about the death of the last superior general in Japan and why he died in Japan on May 20th, 2020. Again, if you're new here, the Jesuits are the military order of the Catholic Church who serve the Pope. And the argument in this video will be that this is a military ritual on behalf of the Church and the Pope. And there's a specific reason that 2024 is starting off this way in the 44th month since Adolfo Nicholas died in Japan, again on May 20th, 2020. So, Jesuits. If you're not familiar with them, look them up. They've been warned about for centuries. And Adolfo Nicholas was the last leader of the Jesuits before Arturo Sosa, the current leader, who's 75 years old, and we'll get to how perfect the 7.5 quake in Japan is today. But Adolfo Nicholas died in Japan at 84, May 20th, 2020, a very specific date to the Jesuits in their history. Their first superior general, Ignatius of Loyola, began his mission to create the Jesuits on May 20th in history. That's why the other year, May 21st, 2021, they began the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year, and it was the 500th anniversary of his mission beginning, which was 1 year after Adolfo Nicholas died. But notice he died at age 84. If you're new here, gematria, the simple practice of coding numbers into words. Superior general equals 84. The superior general died at age 84. In history, Ignatius of Loyola died 84 days from his birthday. And as we'll get to in a moment, these ciphers, they're important. In the same way that superior general equates to 84, earthquake in military equate to 44. And this earthquake comes in the 44th month since his death in Japan. And as we talked about the other day when we were looking towards what could be coming in 2024, 2024's independent year numerology, you just add the 20 plus the 24 for 44. There's different paths as well. You can also add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8. But of course, 44 break down to 8. But one of the paths is 44. And this is a big time military killing number. Big time earthquake number in history as well. And again, if you're new here, look into HARP, HAARP, HAARP, stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Jesse Ventura years ago with the show Conspiracy Theory talked about this technology and how it has the power to manipulate weather, cause earthquakes. But the patent date for that in history, August 11th, 1987, was a date with 44 numerology as well. And so here we are on the first day of 2024, and Japan, no stranger to earthquakes, is the big headline. The first big casualty of the year, if you will. But here, coming back to Adolfo Nicholas, again, we're going to be talking about gematria, this Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, and how it's clearly the code of the Cabal, the Jesuit Cabal, that works by this knowledge every day. So we're going to come to the earthquake, but I just want to go back. If you're new here, actually, let me just show you something real quick about the word earthquake in military. There are 4 base ciphers, and notice how earthquake in military, using these 4 ciphers, have the same numerical values in 3 out of the 4 methods of decoding. And those methods are simple. It's the alphabetic order. A, B, C is 1, 2, 3, up to Z, the 26 letters, 26. It's the alphabetic order with numerology, just using the same alphabetic order but applying numerology. So you can see in this cipher, for example, Z is 8 instead of 26. That's because the numerology of 26 is 2 plus 6 is 8. Y, the 25th letter, is 2 plus 5 is 7. Simple math. The reverse alphabetic order, Z is 1 back to A is 26, and the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. So these are the systems, but notice how with regards to the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, Superior General's 84, like Jesuit, like the Jesuit order, like the Catholic Church. So just consider Adolfo Nicholas, the last Superior General, dead at 84 in Japan. Again, the Jesuits have been in the Far East, Japan, China, for centuries, for longer than the United States of America has existed. Okay, and again, Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope. When this happened, the pope was 83, meaning he was in his 84th year of life. He's got birth numerology of 84 as well, Pope Francis. This is back when Adolfo Nicholas died. We're going to skip over some of these things because you can't talk about it. But notice Arturo Sosa, who's the current Superior General, when Adolfo Nicholas died, it was 191 days after his birthday, and the formal title of the Jesuits is the Society of Jesus, which is 191. And notice Adolfo Nicholas died May 20th. Again, that's the day in history that Ignatius of Loyola began his mission to create the Jesuits after being shot with a cannonball. And you might recall the year before that, Billy Cannon died on that day, the football great who played at LSU, who died the same day that Joe Burrow transferred to LSU. And in 2024, Donald Trump, the Jesuit, has to be in court with Eileen Cannon on May 20th. That's an upcoming date this year. But again, all of these things are Jesuit rituals, and people don't see it because they don't know the history and they don't know the significance of the dates. But anyhow, Adolfo Nicholas died on this very important date to Jesuit history. And notice it's the day leaving 225 days left in the year. And notice his name, Adolfo Nicholas, equals 225. What a day for him to die. As you can also see in the base ciphers, Adolfo Nicholas equals 54 and 72, like Jesuit order equals 54 and 72. And these numbers are important to the sun. And Japan's the land of the rising sun. Again, the time zones pretty much start where Japan is. And we're talking about a ritual in the new year on the first day of the Catholic calendar year. But as we'll get to, where the earthquake happened today, it equates to 54. The word sun equals 54. And with regards to 72, again, the sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. Pope Francis became the first Jesuit pope on the 72nd day of 2013, March 13th, 2013. So, again, just understanding the Jesuits, the code they work by, the calendar that is theirs. Again, the calendar we're on was created in the 16th century, shortly after the Jesuits came into existence. And same time English was standardized as a 26-letter alphabet. Same century the heliocentric model was agreed to that says the sun's the center of it all. Now we're on this calendar that's based on the sun, whereas before we were on the Julian calendar based on the moon. But anyhow, with that little back story and history, here we are now in 2024. Again, 20 plus 24 is 44, big number in suspicious earthquake history. And from Adolfo Nicholas's death to now is the 44th month since he passed. Okay. And again, HARP, the military technology in history, patented August 11th, 1987, a date with a life lesson number of 44. HARP also has the 44. So this has been the case. And just for the record, August 11th, the 223rd day of the year, natural disasters 223, high frequency active auroral research program, which it stands for, is 223. And there is something called satanic gematria. Earthquake is 457 in that cipher. High frequency active auroral research program, when you don't apply numerology, is 457. So don't think this technology's name wasn't cleverly thought out and patented on just the right date, because obviously it was. And again, you learn this knowledge, you start to see that a lot of history is this way. Okay, So a 7.5. Of course, we talk about how important 75 is, why what's going on in Israel is taking place while it's 75. We talked about how this upcoming year, 2024, it's going to mark 75 years since the separation of China and Taiwan. We were just talking about that yesterday in light of what Xi Jinping said to close out the year. But a 7.5 earthquake is the headline, while the superior general is 75 years old. And again, if you're new here, special number to the church. Again, we're on their calendar. Catholic Church has the gematria of 75. Roman Catholic has the gematria of 75. Ignatius of Loyola, the first superior general, has the 75. Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Illuminati, who was Jesuit trained, 75, raised by a Jesuit priest. The phrase order out of chaos. And again, that's part of the reason these people do this, because destruction brings profits to those who will get the rebuilding contracts. War is money for those who are on the benefiting end, those who get to drop the bombs or manufacture the bombs. They make money. Those who get to repair the damage from the bombs, they make money. Some people lose, some people gain every time there's an action like this. Some people might lose their property forever. Somebody else might come in and take that land and develop it and make more profit off it. There's a reason they play this game and operate this way. But order out of chaos is the motto. Order out of chaos is 75, like New World Order is 75. And again, you can always go back to that headline from the New York Times, October 6, 1940. New World Order pledged to who? Look up the headline. New World Order pledged, then you can see the next line. New World Order pledged to blank, October 6, 1940. Again, that was a date with 75 numerology. And then this year, one day after the anniversary of that headline, a war broke out in Israel that's 75 years old. And again, Gaza, the strip just turned 75 years old. They've been getting tormented. But also the word order alone is 75. And the list goes on. It's a big time number. It's a big time number. That 16th century where heliocentrism became the model, where the sun's the center of it all, heliocentrism, 75. Here we are in the land of the rising sun, Japan. So Arturo Sosa, the leader of the Jesuits, is 75 right now. It's 50 days after his birthday. And here's the things that are interesting about 50. Jesuits, the plural for one, is 50. New Year's Day is 50. Calendar is 50. Again, we're on the Gregorian calendar. Gregorian itself is 50. So you have all these 50s, right? And, here's the land of 50 states and a million territories where I'm broadcasting from, and that's where the HARP technology came out of. So is that part of the equation? Perhaps. Maybe one other word that's worth mentioning is circle, because a circle is important to ritual magic, and in a way that's kind of what this is that they're doing with the use of technology, one would assume. So it's 50 days after the Jesuit leader's birthday, and with regards to the Pope, it's 15 days after his birthday, and the target is Japan. Japan has that gematria of 15. See how Japan is 42 and 15? So is the word new, 42, 15. See how Japan's also 30? When Adolfo Nicholas died in Japan, he was the 30th superior general of the Jesuits. So, and just for the record, Jesuits also 42. Okay, so again, to make sure we're keeping it all straight, the 44 matters because it goes with Adolfo Nicholas's death and the date numerology or the year numerology for 2024 and what it has to do with earthquakes and militaries. The 75 matters because it's important to the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, and their leader right now is 75 years old. And a lot of things popping off in the world right now have to do with 75. The 50 days later matters because it syncs with the calendar and New Year's Day and circles and ritual magic, and time is kind of being treated like a circle, just like history is repeating itself because the same cabal's in power and paying tribute to history's past by doing things on similar dates and in similar patterns. And then again, it's the first Jesuit pope, Pope Francis, 15 days after his birthday. And you see how the Pope is 87 right now, whereas Arturo Sosa's 75. This is interesting because when you write out the Catholic Church, if you put a the in front of it, the Catholic Church is also 87, whereas Catholic Church alone is 75. But again, the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, his name is 75 and 87. Okay. This happened on the Noto Peninsula, and just for just more fingerprints, Noto Peninsula. A number of things are interesting here. We'll start with the 175. Notice Pope Francis also has the 175. Okay, you see how Pope Francis is also 58. Notice Noto Peninsula is also 58, right? And with regards to the calendar and New Year's Day, calendar has the 58. Gregorian has the 58. As above, so below. Zodiac 58. They got all synced up. The calendar, astrology, the language. Again, you learn the system and you see how cleverly they've put it all together. And obviously they didn't do it overnight. If I forgot to say so, New Year's Day. New Year's Day also has the 58. Okay, so the location of the earthquake, again, syncs with the Pope, the name of the calendar, New Year's Day. And then also the Noto Peninsulas in the Ishikawa Prefecture, and Ishikawa, here's the 54. Ishikawa's got the 54, just like Jesuit orders got the 54, just like Sun's got the 54. And just like how we were talking about Adolfo Nicholas, who this is synced with, had the 54. So the 36 is interesting because the Jesuit acronym IHS is also 36, which stands for Isus Hominum Salvator. And again, for people who don't know this, it's 266 in reverse, like Pope Francis is the 266th Pope in the history of the Church. Pope Francis is also 122, which you might have noticed a moment ago. In case you missed it. Pope Francis, 122 as well. Also 59, like Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for him. And then the 59th U.S. presidential election, Joe Biden was elected number 46, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. And go figure that today has 46 date numerology, where Catholic is 46. Chaos is 46. Again, order out of chaos is the motto. Ordo ab chao in Latin is 46. And did you see how chaos is also 26? So is quake, 26. Today's date numerology is 46, and the lesser date numerology is 26. And again, you get that by just adding 1 plus 1 plus 20 plus 24. 46. The lesser date numerology is 1 plus 1 plus 24. But yeah, we've talked about these suspicious earthquakes all over the world, with Japan a number of times. Japan, one of the most common targets. And don't forget, not far from Japan is where they did some serious testing with bombs, right? And we all know what happened to Hiroshima on August 6th and Nagasaki on August 9th, and what happened to Hawaii not far from there, right between those dates this past year. Remember, it was August 8th that Hawaii got wasted in Maui, and that was the week of hip-hop's 50th anniversary, and Hawaii's the 50th and final state. And the 808 drum machine that made hip-hop came out of Japan, and Hawaii was made the 808 area code on August 8th, the day those terrible fires began. So, if you missed what we covered about Hawaii, you should go back and check that out while the video still exists. The one other thing is, I noticed that from the Prime Minister of Japan's birthday, which is July 29th, to today is 156 days later. Kind of a fateful number because 911 is the 156th prime. Vatican Hill in Jewish gematria is 911. But yeah, just another sick joke for the Catholic New Year. The calendar based on the sun. So who gets smashed? The land of the rising sun. And yeah, it's too bad that most people cannot comprehend these things, and that's why the cabal is the cabal. They are, they're the illuminated ones. They're the ones pulling the strings on humanity and getting away with it day after day because they're just too sophisticated, they're too advanced, and they're way beyond where most people are at. So, anyhow, shout out to Nathan. Nathan always with the generosity. He said, "Good morning, everyone. Like you said, Zach, natural disaster equals 223. The plural natural disasters equals 201. I don't know if I had noticed that before. If I had, I'd forgotten it. Yeah, you're right. Natural disasters, 201. The 201 is interesting because, again, the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, his name is 201. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, that's the name of Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. The Jesuit Order's 201, Order of Illuminati's 201, and on and on and on. So, again, the Illuminati was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. And then the 114, the 114 that was also there. 114 is interesting because Art of War, the text translated by the Jesuit priest, Father Amiot, again credited to Sun Tzu. The Jesuit logo is the sun. There's no historical record of Sun Tzu ever existed. But Art of War, translated by a Jesuit priest, 114. World War, of course, has the 114. And when you think World War, especially from an American perspective, you definitely think of Japan. And then Pearl Harbor also has the 114. So, history, his story has the 114. History also has the 75, huh? Wasn't really thinking about that, but we should definitely note that one in the time of the Superior General being 75 years old with the 7.5 quake launch in the day. And just to close out here, just to read everything that was reported. A powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck western Japan on Monday afternoon, triggering tsunami waves and causing damage to roads, power, transport services, and infrastructure. By the way, people in California, it's the same thing going on over there. Japanese officials warned residents in affected areas to evacuate to higher ground as 1,000 military personnel from the self-defense forces were dispatched to aid rescue and recovery efforts. A powerful earthquake struck the Noto peninsula in Ishikawa prefecture at 4:10 p.m. The thing that stands out to me about that time is in military time, that's, 1610. The Jesuits since the 16th century. Again, the Jesuits were created in the 16th century, so it's 1610 military time. The 410 could also be a tribute to the technology where this is coming from. The West, USA is the 41 nation. 41's the 13th prime. The suppression of the Jesuits lasted 41 years, for the record. The suppression of the Jesuits lasted 41 years. The USA was formed in the time of their suppression. And think about it, in the time they were suppressed is the time the Illuminati was created by a Jesuit. So, 4:10 p.m. Monday, triggering tsunami warnings along Japan's western coast. The quake, which had a depth of 10 kilometers or 6 miles, hit at 4:10 p.m. local time around 42 kilometers or 26 miles northeast of Onamizu in Ishikawa Prefecture. Again, 42. Japan's 42, News 42, Jesuits 42. We talked about how today has lesser date numerology of 26, chaos is 26, so is quake. According to the United States Geological Survey, several aftershocks were reported in western Japan. USGS said, including a 6.2 magnitude aftershock around 4 kilometers or 2.4 miles southeast of Anamazu. The city of Noto is under tsunami warning. You know, I do see something in this, the name Noto alone. Noto's got the 44, right? And you see the 19. Quake is also 19. Chaos is 19. So Noto's got the 44. Sounds like the town that's getting the worst of it right now. And at least 5 highways have been closed and several flights canceled across airports in Ishikiwa Prefecture. 2 flights were canceled at Noto Airport, where there is a crack on the runway. A flight from Tokyo landed earlier but turned back to the capital. There were 15 cancellations. We're just about how Japan and News 15, and it's 15 days after the Pope's birthday. It's also the Pope's 16th day of his age, going with the earthquake being at 1600 military time. 21 school facilities are being formed into evacuation centers. Jesuit is 21. Yeah, so. Isn't it sad though? I mean, it's just like you go back to that JFK speech, September 25th, 1961. JFK giving the speech about emerging technologies and weather control and how they can be used to make the world a better place. Instead, the psychopaths, they went a different way with the technology. They're like, I know how we can make the world more our place, more our control, more our profit. This the photo that CNN shows was Wajima, Japan. I actually didn't look at that. Wajima, 21 and 42, like Jesuit. Wajima. Make sure I got the spelling right. Wajima. 72 like Jesuit order. Again, like Adolfo Nicholas. 36 like IHS. But yeah, sadly, I think this is a sign of what kind of year 2024 is going to be. And understand, this is an act of war. And with regards to war, you guys, war. Look at the overlap with war in Japan too. I mean, that's the World War II thing from American perspective. Oh, we got in the war because of Japan. Japan and war, 42 and 15. Don't forget World War is 42 as well. So, like I've been saying, don't live in fear, but just be prepared for chaos in case it comes to your neck of the woods. This is exactly why, in this year, with all that's being foreshadowed and the way the numbers fall and the way this cabal operates, emergency supplies, first aid, water, non-perishable food, good clothes in case you got to be out moving around, good shoes, a waterproof backpack, just things that could be super helpful in case, something unexpected came to your town. So, and it's a reminder of the way these psychopaths operate also. It's like, I don't know if they ever need to have another world war the way they did back in, the times of World War I and II. These days, they can just unleash war and chaos on people and keep it so that no one even knows who did it. Killer cooties. Big quake, big flood, big tsunami. Unprecedented waves. But yeah, I think those are all the main points I got for right now, True Seeker. So, condolences to the people of Japan, and Yeah, hopefully at some point the world catches on to what's going on. So, can you do some calls today? Well, people will be calling in on the live stream on Patreon here before long. I gotta. If here, if somebody wants to call in real quick about this and has some additional information, I'll stay on for 15 more minutes. But then I got other things that I need to get done because this isn't typically the way I start the day. Typically, I start the day with the Patreon work, but I figured we better cover this. So hold on, let me open up the phone line. All right, if you want to phone in, the line is open, and I'm gonna have to switch over the audio settings. Hold on. Testing, testing. Okay, there we go. What's up, 808?
Hey, man. I've been watching what you've been doing for a while, and anyone that does, it's blatantly obvious what's going on. My question is, this is way too much for mankind to do on his own. It's just too complex. What's your whole theory on that aspect of it?
Sure. I mean, I'm not an expert in channeling evil and evil spirits and demons, but I don't think that stuff's out of the realm of possibility. And so, but at the same time, it's
Yeah,
like you got to identify who's the one who are the sorcerers that are doing this, and that's what the point of my work is.
that's right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've come to. This is some supernatural stuff. It's just too complex, too many inner workings.
Is it though? But hold on. So, like, if you saw in the news that the U.S. just shot a missile down on Yemen at a specific target and blew it up, would you be like, okay, demons definitely did that, or would you be like, okay, that's the work of
Oh
technology
no,
and a
no, of course
military?
not. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's
So, is it really
right.
that much different if you target somebody with an earthquake weapon?
No. Yeah. So my point is not that kind. My point is just that the gematria aspect of this and all the numbers lining up and these different things happening looks like it's much too much for simply mankind to be planning all of this and have it come out with these numbers being so exact.
Well, that is. I mean, it is possible, but at the same time, I can easily explain the numbers. I cannot explain how to make a missile or an earthquake weapon. So, in a way, it's the easiest thing to identify. That's the most simple. I could get a third grader to
Right.
understand this, but I don't think an average third grader could build a missile or an earthquake weapon.
Yeah, yeah, and I was just more looking at the way it plays out, just the way the numbers line up. For man to orchestrate this to get the gematria to line up so perfectly, it looks like to me that they got supernatural help, just because it's all so complex and so perfect.
Yeah, I mean, they very well could. So.
Right on. All right. Well, I was just seeing if you even because I heard you talk a lot about that, so I was just seeing if you actually had a viewpoint on that. But hey, man, I really appreciate what you're doing. It's undeniable if people just are real with themselves. But anyway, keep doing what you're doing, man. Happy 2024.
By the way, were you the person in the chat that asked to call in?
No, I've never. No, sir.
Oh,
I
you
just
were just
talked to
right
the
on it as
person
soon as I
called
opened
in.
up the phone line. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the call. Thank
Hey,
you.
I was gonna give you one. I was gonna give you one quick thing, and I don't know if you talk about this much, but the last 5 days, at least here in the Texas Hill Country, it's been perfectly blue skies, and then all of a sudden today they started up again. So just something I noticed.
Okay. Yeah,
Haven't seen
we've
that in a while.
our weather has just been not good for a while. But hey, appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Right on, my brother. Bye
Take
bye.
it. 438.
Hello, is this Zach?
It is
Hey, how you doing, Zach?
doing all right.
Yeah, I'm good. I just wanted to ask you something. So, you know how when you do your breakdowns and your analysis, you don't always use, for example, how can I say, you don't. Let's say we get 75 in the ordinal. You don't necessarily get it if you're doing a connecting. Let's say you get Jesuit has 75 in the ordinal. You wouldn't use the same cipher for deciphering, let's say, I don't know, an earthquake or something of that nature? Is there like an actual? Not, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't call what you're doing.
I use the same system every single day. I use the same system. All right, I'm just going to move on. See you later. I use the same system every single day, you guys. I've explained it a million times. These are the 4 base ciphers. They're all part of one system. It makes a lot of sense when you pay attention to sports because they do almost like a name will have 4 different values. They couldn't keep giving you the exact same number every single game. You might catch on, but when they pretty much do like the same cycle of 4 numbers, between 4 different games, again, so calls like that just get annoying to me. I'm doing every decode's the exact same. It's the same system. It doesn't matter if it's reverse or forwards. This is the system. It's obviously the way they do it. It's just like I was saying how earthquake and military, it's just like how, the overlap in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. Forever we've talked about one of the weirdest earthquakes in U.S. history was the 1989 World Series earthquake. And the last thing shown on TV before it cut to fuzz because of the earthquake was Jose Canseco, and it was exactly 107 days after his birthday, and his full name equals 107. So, last year we were talking about the way these numbers factored into the Turkey earthquake, but yeah, just that call was just nonsense. Okay. And this is also why I don't really like to open up the phone lines because it's very rare that we get any calls that are helpful to anything. So I do got things to do. If anybody else wants to call in, now's the time. But if you do call in, don't turn my hair gray with like the last caller. Just mumbling, couldn't even get his words out, and not making any sense. Oh, the trolls are in the chat. Yeah, Turkey earthquake was on the 37th day of the year. That's the whole video was about last year. It's just the synagogue of Satan in Revelation 3:7, and it was all synced up with the Pope and Superior General too. 407.
Yeah, hi Zach. I just wanted to bring up. I don't know if you saw it already, but I know Cody's in the chat from time to time, and he has his own channel. But he did put out an interesting video with a connection to the earthquake about WWE. There's a wrestler named Bronson, and his finishing move is Tsunami. And he had 2 matches last year against a Japanese wrestler named Akira Tawaza or something like that. And both matches ended with Bronson Tsunamis on the Japanese wrestler. So he made an interesting connection.
And the other WWE Japanese wrestler just died the other day, Killer Khan, 42 weeks after his birthday. So
yeah, so I just wanted to add that in.
Well, so I don't follow wrestling. What's the wrestler again with the connection? Bronson and who?
Yeah, the wrestler's name is Bronson Reed. His finishing move is Tsunami. And then his opponent was named Akira Tozawa.
Okay, Japanese name.
And they had 2 matches last year, both ending in the finishing Tsunami move.
Let me see if I can find that. So Bronson Reed versus
Akira
Tozawa. I see. Okay. Did he say what the date of the fight was? Looks like maybe it was October 23rd.
Yeah.
Guess they're leaving 69 days left in the year.
And there was another one. And he put a short video out earlier. It was like only like 7 or 8 minutes, and then he made the connections with the dates and the names and things like that.
Okay, it's not out of question. I mean, they do like to sync things up with their entertainment venues like the WWE. So.
But yeah, I just wanted to add that.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
All right, take care. Yeah, I mean, as silly as that might sound, it's definitely not out of the question that these people constantly sync up the world of entertainment, news, politics. So. It's 163 days after his birthday, or the other guy's birthday. The guy he defeated. I see. He's 38 years old right now too. 163 is the 38th prime. All right, here, let's check that out real quick. July 22nd to today. Yeah, 163 days after his 38th birthday. Again, 163 is the 38th prime, and that's the other that's where you have the one value that doesn't overlap with military, but earthquake 163. So, and he's from Japan. He's from Kobe, Japan, huh? He made his debut on the 93rd day of the year, the Japanese wrestler. You see how they do that? They have the Japanese wrestler make his debut on the 93rd day of the year. Yeah, I think that's probably beyond coincidence. Man, it probably sadly does have something to do with Killer Khan's death just a few days ago on 12/29. 12/29, the 201st prime. Kira Tozawa's got the 172. Also got the 45, which is the year the bombs were dropped on Japan to end World War II. And that goes with the whole IHS thing as well. And, you know, the more symbolic day of the two bombings was August 6th, 8/6. Jesuits. So, yeah, good observation, Cody. And again, for the guy who was just calling in like, you're using different ciphers, though, it gets so annoying just hearing that phone call. It's like, yeah, the reason they have the different ciphers is so that they can line up all their rituals so perfectly over and over. I mean, I don't know what more there is to say about it. 215?
Yeah, that was me asking about the turkey in Philadelphia, because you said it was on the 37th day of the year, and paradise equals 37. That's why I kept saying that 37 all year, like all over the place. I know it's connected to the Super Bowl, so I was wondering. That's why I was asking.
I don't understand why you're going to Paradise. Are you talking about the Paradise, California fires?
No, technically, the Super Bowl is in Paradise, Nevada, but they're saying it's in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like technically the place of the Super Bowl is Paradise, Nevada. That's where the game's gonna be played, but they're advertising it as Las Vegas. So I would kept seeing the 37 all year. So if you're typing in just Paradise, equals 37 in the most pure, and 73.
Okay. Here,
that's why I was asking about that.
Yeah, again, at the beginning of last year in February, there was the big earthquake in Turkey, which is biblical Philadelphia. And Revelation 3:7 is the verse about the synagogue of Satan addressed to the church of Philadelphia. And again, on the 37th day of the year, you had this big earthquake in Turkey, and they said it was the worst in 84 years, and they said it was a 7.8, which goes with the Jesuit 8478. And it was 52 days after the Pope's birthday, where Pope equals 52, like devil, like Enlil, like earth. And again, it was 2023, a bit like 223, the big natural disaster number. Natural disasters 223, like Philadelphia, like the synagogue of Satan. Again, Revelation 3:7, 37th day of the year. So it was also 87 days. It was on the 87th day of Arturo Sosa's age, or 86 days after his birthday while the Pope was 86. But yeah, it was another big ritual. And you might recall that this happened while
Eagles equal 87, and Jalen Hurts' birthday is 8/7. So
yeah, just like Kyler Murray, who beat him yesterday. We thought he had a chance to upset him. He did. That was the big upset. But
when you get a chance, check. I need to get back on your Patreon. So it's been a little while, but I need to get back on there because I wanted to talk to you about some other stuff. I know it's not the topic today, but I wanted to talk to you, or at least call in the next time I get a chance. I want to share some stuff with you.
Sure. All right. Yeah, we'll get back on there, man. We'll be doing a live stream here in about 3 hours on there. So appreciate it.
All right.
Take care. And remember, the earthquake happened while they were doing the unholy performance at the Grammys. So that was everything going on. It's like you had this tribute to Satan that everyone's watching in the U.S. while this terrible earthquake's unfolding in biblical Philadelphia. Again, so the the connection again with entertainment and earthquakes in light of what Cody just pointed out about the WWE, the Japanese wrestler, and this earthquake. 760.
What's up, Zach? It's my first time calling in, so I don't know if this question's relevant or not, but I know that all the rituals that are being covered on the news are like from the Jesuits. Is there any way that we can do rituals of positivity or like get these numbers in line with the way of like spreading our good news instead of like just hearing all this crap? I mean, I know the crap is scripted, like the earthquake. So we can't do big things like that, but can we do anything small?
Well, I mean, you're asking me something that, I've been doing, right? Don't I go to these places on the anniversaries of them happening and speak out? I mean, I think that's the type of thing people should be doing. And what have I been advocating for people to do for years? I've been paying $1,000 a month now for 5 years to host an awesome website for people to organize and network and get out and do things in their community to expose things. And on the anniversary of things, I've been asking people for years to get out and group and work together and network and get out in front of their sports stadium and wake these fans up to how rigged these games are and the ritual sacrifice. So, I mean, you're calling in and asking me what to do, and I've been saying for years what we need to do.
Do you know about the high-speed rail that's being built from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga, or about the Mojave Desert very much? Because it's very relevant, very pressing. A lot of rituals can be coming out of this. Do you know a lot about, because this is where I'm local to, 760. Do you know much about 760? Because I think there's a lot that I could cover. I want to go by the tag 78. Do you think 78 is a tag that could be positive for numbers? Like, I was asking my AI about it, like the Google Bard, and Google Bard said that maybe 78 brings out like positive numerology or positive gematria. Is that true, or do you think that? Because I heard that you said that you would encourage people to make YouTube channels that are maybe similar to yours, but like, you don't want people to copy you. But it's the highest form of flattery, and I would love to do something like positive about gematria.
I don't mind if people.
Rituals that are worldwide, but like maybe I don't know what I'm saying really, but I'm just a big supporter, man. I know I don't have a really.
Again, I don't mind if people copy my work. What I have a problem with is all the people who copy my work and then they make videos attacking me. It's like, who are these weirdos? Like, why are they copying me and then attacking me? That's what I have a problem with. And there's a lot of people who've done that. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that you're doing like. I don't want to say the Lord's work because I know that like that's like a Christian way of. I do think that what you say about Jesus and everything is great. But I think that nothing that you do makes me feel bad. I just wish I could do more to like do your style, but I don't have so much knowledge on like just how to read the rituals as clearly as you do. I just need to read your books probably if I could do that before I can make anything relevant on YouTube like you do. Like I feel like if I made content, it wouldn't be relevant. So as that mean, like just like support your Patreon, or like what's the best way that somebody like me could actually do something? Because I actually do want to press on that point about if you know about anything about the 760 and its high-speed rail and what could be happening with the Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga high-speed rail in the United States. Because I think that there's a lot of stuff happening here. This place is going to become very, like the Mojave Desert is very, very sacred in a sense, if you know what I mean.
Sure. I mean, high-speed rail being built doesn't sound like any problem to me. I mean, most of the world has high-speed rail, and the problem to me is why hasn't the U.S. upgraded its infrastructure? I've been making that point for a long time. Like, why is our infrastructure so far behind the modern world? Are they planning to demolish us before they finally catch us up to everybody else? But yeah, I honestly don't see what the concern is about building high-speed rail. I mean, most of the world has had it for some time.
Concern is the fact that it's the first one in the United States, and I'm assuming that they're going to do a lot of rituals based around it, and like maybe.
Well, building it in the desert is probably one of the easiest places to build it because it's so flat and there's not a lot of obstacles in the way. So that might also be why it's getting built there. But
yeah. That's true. Yeah, the gentrification is just going to happen to all. Do you think that anything about gentrification is going to like lead us away? I don't know what I'm saying really, but it seems like a really good thing for the economy and for like SoCal and Las Vegas, but it just seems like, I don't know. I'm very worried about the change of this world, how everybody's just getting more, like, is there anything that we can do to just make things like more, I'm sorry, Zach, I'm a really big fanboy, and just talking to you is kind of overwhelming to me. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm worried about the way the world's trending, man. I think that a lot of things, even though this high-speed rail is just one thing, like, just, I don't know, man. They're just sending people over here into the desert that are not good. Like, it's becoming like LA, and even worse. I don't know, man. There's a lot of cartel activity. Is there any way that I can, like, feel like I can do anything about my community, like, about, I don't know, like, it just seems like everything's getting more criminal by the day. Like, everything's becoming more, everybody's just on their phones doing shorts, but it just seems like people are getting dumbed down. Like, is there anything
They are, man. That's why you
just watching your content?
Anyway, hey, appreciate the call. Again, you can speak out in your community and try to raise awareness. I mean, that's what I do every single day. And you're right. Yeah, everything is on the decline. That's why I've spent the last 10 plus years of my life trying to elevate people's consciousness and get them to see what's going on. And more, I wish more people were doing it. So just figure out your way to help raise awareness and get people to wake up to the agendas of the day and the decline of humanity. But man, I got listen. It's a long call, and you have like literally the worst phone signal in the history of phone signals. So I got to move on, and plus I got to get off anyway. Thank you. Okay. And again, the thing is, when I open the phone line, the people who are the most dedicated to my work are the trolls and agents that hang around 24/7. Just like even when I go out now, I find out that the majority of people who show up are trolls and agents and feds, and it's just like, is that phone call, is the bad signal intentional? I mean, is his big concern in the world is that they're building a high-speed rail? I mean, is this even a serious phone call? But yeah, it's just... Yeah, for the people in the chat saying, hey, come out to my city and speak out. You guys, the problem is I went out all over for what? For a year and a half, we were just going all over the nation, speaking out, getting to places where tragedies happened. And what happened? Support fell off in a big way. I have like half the financial support I had before I started doing that. So, it seems like the more we get out in pound payment, the less support there is for the work. And again, you want to see me going to any more cities and speaking out, the support's going to have to come back up. So that's just the bottom line. Yeah, exactly. And they just wanted to keep going on and on and on through the bad signal. And it's just like, how can you be calling in about you're concerned about they're building high-speed rail? Like, what? Is this a serious phone call? Yeah, and that's also, I mean, back in the day, I used to do a lot more phone calls, but then I realized, like, are the phone calls making us look good? I mean, it kind of just, like, makes it look like this incompetent community, right? So... All right, yeah, I got to get back to work. And again, for everybody on the Patreon, we will stream at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. So, but yeah, good observation. The one nice addition to this was that it does look like that they synced it up with the world of entertainment as well through the WWE wrestler. So. All right. Till next time, Truth Seeker. Oh, hold on. Shout out to Francis Bacon with the CHF donations. Okay, I'll look more into the Ukraine surrender that you asked about. So. No trips are still a go right now. Like I said, you guys, if support doesn't go back up, there probably won't be any more trips anytime soon, and support hasn't gone back up. So, that message has fallen on deaf ears. And then I got phone calls like that, like, how can I support the work? It's just like, is that a real phone call too? How can you support the work? I mean, I always say where you can support the work. The link's in the description for every video. So I think what I might have to do yesterday, you know how YouTube sometimes you log on and it like just promotes something that's like viral and has a whole bunch of views. There was some guy interviewing girls that have OnlyFans websites. Man, he must have got like $1 million in super chats in 2 hours. I just had it in the background playing. He's like $200. I was just like, so maybe that's what we have to do to build funds in 2024. We got to see if like OnlyFans girls can discuss gematria or something. I don't know. The world is a sad place. Yeah, I mean, pretty much the only people who know about the word gematria are rabbis. So gematria is almost exclusively a Jewish practice. All right, we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. And it is New Year's Day, so I'm sure we'll be busy, but it does start off with a bang. And again, my condolences to the people of Japan. And just one more reminder that be prepared in case chaos comes your way with the psychopaths still large and in charge. Thank you again, Francis Bacon. Appreciate it. All right, until next time, everybody.